Murphy. I'm VP of PR and Communications for Meow Wolf, and I probably have one of the weirdest resumes of anyone you'll ever meet. I have run the gamut from punk rock to presidential politics to art, and have also done some stuff in psychedelics and cannabis, and also, you know, just the whole gamut of weird and interesting is sort of how my career is led here. And it's mainly just about communicating and talking to people and finding audience. A punk rock art collective that got venture capital funding is sort of my nutshell. We are an immersive art space that includes the work of hundreds of artists, might be even close to 1,000 at this point, given that we have each of our locations is between 30 and 90,000 square feet with interactive elements, stories, and different design elements that are actually all hand created by artists and made by artists. We have film, we have audio, and it's all produced for the shows. And we also have live music venues within our spaces, event spaces, and they all tell an narrative, and our lore is all interconnected. We have this multiversal world that sort of just spreads out between all of our 5 locations, the power of absurdity. And we also had Dan Murphy from Liquid Death on stage with us. And I think one of the things about Meow Wolf and Liquid Death, or other brands, like you could look at Patagonia in the same way, or certain brands who have really established themselves as being authentic in a way that others have not necessarily accomplished. And it's about that authenticity and being able to use your voice in a way that demonstrates what sets your brand apart. Liquid Death is a character that is selling water. It is not like the brand of Liquid Death is not just a brand. They've associated this identity with everything that they do. They don't go out of character. We have our identity above all else, and the identity sort of drives what we do. The people coming in are going to all have different perspectives, but we need to do something for each of them and take into account all of the different ways that people might engage. We have a theory of um, and we talked about this, like the wade, uh, swim, or dive, and people are going to want to come in and just sort of like surface level absorb what we have and check it out and sort of look through, look at the art, be like impressed by the art, be impressed by the lighting and the sound design and the way they all come together in a way that doesn't happen anywhere else. And then there's the people who want to get into the story and understand it. And then there's the people who get obsessed and they live on our Discord and they like follow every an interactive element at 2 feet high, so that a 2 or 3-year-old would find it and just be completely transfixed that something was made for them. And then they could show their parents and bring them down. Or we'd put something up on the ceiling. In one of our locations, there is a code that activates something um, with hands, and the hands are spelling out the code to activate an ATM machine in ASL, American Sign Language. Every time I go, I discover something new. I discover something I didn't know before, and I can spend hours on end trying to figure stuff out and still be transfixed. A lot of our artists who are at Meow Wolf are people who have been there since the pea smelling warehouse days, like these are people who have understand where we came from, understand like who we are as a brand, what made us what we are, and also have a lot of opinions over like how we present ourselves to the world. And it's an important it's important to have those views internally, because these are the people making what we're doing. At the same time, we are creating art for an audience. Andy Warhol was creating art for an audience. It is not everyone who is making art either to experience or to sell is not we make it for ourselves, but we also make it for the people who are going to buy it, and ultimately, we are a business, and our goals are to, like, sell tickets, have people through the doors, and our artists have a lot of freedom and a lot of flexibility in creating the things that they do, that we're not going back to Disney. We're not Disney. This is what you use to make it. It has to look perfect, it has to look seamless. You can see our brush strokes. You can see that, like, that little monster in the corner was made with, like, a row of pom-poms that they, like, that they got at Savers, and that big pile of stuff was, like, is actually recycled toys from thrift stores and, like, dumpsters, and it is very much a place that is driven by artists and creativity. People are sitting there and they're like, "What is gonna get me out of my house? What is going to make me want to do this?" It is, audiences are selective. They don't wanna go to the Willy Wonka immersive experience. They wanna go to Meow Wolf, and we have to continue to differentiate ourselves so that what we are making, people understand the difference between a Meow Wolf, where hundreds of artists have spent years putting together these experiences with really thoughtfully crafted moments that have been created for people, than someone who threw something together based on a picture that they saw somewhere or an idea. When you show humanity, when you show, like, the human elements of what you do, it actually creates more resonance with the people that you're talking to.